Hello traders, welcome to your daily economic calendar update for February the 11th, 2015. So trading overnight, the headlines were oil dropped by 4%, which heavily also impacted the Canadian dollar. We've seen people pile into the US dollar as a safe haven, and also the talks about the interest rate rise prospects. We also had a range-bound market for the pound and the euro ahead of the EU-Greek deal negotiations. And we've seen that Fonterra came out with a forecast that milk supply will decline throughout the year, but that didn't have a huge impact on the New Zealand dollar as yet. What we've got ahead is the market is really focused on the Eurogroup meeting and some negotiation talks associated with a Greek deal with the EU. However, we've started seeing the banter back and forth with a German minister saying that they're not looking at any plans to discuss a new accord for an extension to Greece. And then we had a retaliation back from a Greek finance minister saying that if you're not willing to even contemplate the prospect of a rupture, then you don't really want to negotiate. So we've already started the banter back and forth, and this is going to continue from now on, right through until we either get a deal or we don't. I'm pretty optimistic that a deal will be reached, and if not, the euro could slip quite quickly, at least down to $1.10. And we've got a lot of orders in the market, and when the market is heavily covered, we will see some quite violent moves. So if you are in any trades, make sure your stops are tight, and my suggestion is you sit on the sidelines and then trade once you know what an outcome is. Don't worry about missing a trade. There's always going to be another one. So we'll see how it pans out throughout today. I don't expect anything major to be announced in today's European session, but we will see some movement back and forth between the ranges, and I'll note all those in the technical video. We don't have too much other data coming out that the market's going to really focus on. Of course, the crude oil being a key focus for the market right now, that will also come into play, and we'll see how oil reacts. It's going to be quite interesting to see, and we'll see what happens later on for the RBA governor's speech and the New Zealand business PMI. It's just going to help try and paint a picture. I don't expect to see any major price action. All the price action overnight was in the US dollar Japanese yen and the US dollar CAD. Both of them broke out of triangle patterns, and we've seen some moves there. The yen cross pairs were also presenting some minor opportunities, however held back a little bit by the fact that the counterparts, be it the euro yen, the pound yen, and the Australian yen, were all range bound. It was hard to get a lot of pips out of those, but I think that we will see some movement in the yen crosses towards the end of the week. So that's about it for today. I'll be back tomorrow, but I probably won't be here in time for the employment change and the unemployment rate in Australia. That's going to be very critical for the Australian dollar in the morning. So definitely look at these figures, and if we start to see a weak number, well, then we could see the Australian dollar come under some pressure. And if we don't, we could see the Australian dollar actually have a bounce as a relief rally, because right now people are quite concerned about the Australian economy, and we're looking for cues on where to go next, and that's what's causing the range bound. I'll be back in time for the Bank of England quarterly inflation report. That's going to be a very key announcement tomorrow with the Carney speech, so stay tuned for that. I'll make sure that you do come and watch the technical video. I'll see what we can do about some trading opportunities. I'm still in the US dollar Japanese yen long-term trade, and that's doing quite well. We've moved stop losses up to our entry, and that's locking in that we can't make a loss on the trade now, and we're up just over 110 pips as it sits right now. Anyway, I will talk to you tomorrow, and until then, trade well.